Dr. ZaLonya Allen, President of the National Entrepreneurs Association, and welcome to the NEA YouTube channel. Today we're going to be talking to Michael Wynn, founder of Coach Wynn LLC, about his experience with the NEA Comerica Entrepreneur Bootcamp and Certification Program. Michael, how are you today?
I'm doing just fabulous. How are you? How are
Good.
you doing? Great.
I'm doing
Holiday.
great. All right. So as I mentioned, you just completed Cohort 3 of the NEA Comerica Entrepreneur Bootcamp and Certification Program, and you were selected the spokesperson of Cohort 3, meaning the class voted for you to represent them. What was that experience like for you when you found out?
It was great. I was amazed to actually hear that a lot of people that chose me. I come with energy and I get excited about a lot of things, but that was really hard because I'm close to entrepreneur. I like the connection, and that was very special feeling. Yeah.
I agree, because there were some amazing people in your cohort.
Yeah. Yes, it was. It was so many. We had a variety of people.
Before we go any further, can you tell the audience a little bit about who you are as an entrepreneur and what you do?
Yes. After retiring from the state of Michigan, I did many years in financial auditing and accountability and fiscal monitoring. So I started a business with financial accountability and performance management. I am a habit success strategist, so I focus on habits. So I'm fortunate to have a dual business. I do contracts with the government in regards to still looking into what they spend and how they spend it, and give them advice on better ways of doing it. It's actually a monitoring exercise that we go through with federal dollars for schools in the state of Michigan. And I also coach with habits and accountabilities to help people in the line of not just getting a business, but to look at their self first mindset, their opportunity to generate energy, to make sure that they're going in the right direction to perform well in a business.
Wow, you have quite a background, and it sounds like you've been doing this a while. So what made you want to sign up for the Entrepreneur Bootcamp and Certification Program?
Yeah, well, first, being a member of NEA, you always want to be accessible to training, and just in general, I know that you can always gain from training, and especially different perspectives of training. And I heard so much about it as a member, but not just as a member, just different programs of knowing that you have to always be on top of things when it comes to entrepreneur. And after reading about the connection that NEA had with Comerica, the first thing came to mind is funding. We all need funding. We all want to know we're going to stay in touch with that kind of a tool, as well as leadership, as well as some of the other programs I saw that, you just need to be brushed up on. Legal, you can't assume that you know everything about legal. You have a little bit about it. You're always challenged there. And the growing things that go on with social media and marketing. So there was so much that I said, okay, I know a few things because I'm fortunate to be a licensed builder, financial literacy, certified in financial literacy, as well as a fraud examiner. And I have a connection with people. But when it comes to the structure of entrepreneurship, you want to be around those people that do it. And NEA have those people, those connections, and I enjoyed that.
All right, awesome. You mentioned a lot there, but I do want to acknowledge Comerica as well, because there are partners in this, and they've been amazing. Michael Cheatham comes in and does a fabulous job of teaching financials and how to understand financial statements, as well as how to prepare for funding. But my next question for you is, what were some of your biggest takeaways? I know we threw a lot of information out there. There were 9 modules. So could you just kind of recap a couple of your big takeaways being experienced entrepreneur?
Yeah. The biggest thing is being with a room full of cohorts that was so excited about of learning. And then from day one, we had the mindset, which I'm a big fan of mindset, and just learning that in itself just put me in a perspective of just having a business. You have affirmations, you have leadership. I mean, a mindset that you want to go in a certain direction and you want to be motivated every single day. And not only did we have the opportunity to exercise our thinking, the positive energy flow that just one daily affirmation or mindset that came through our Facebook group would build upon everyone speaking of their challenges, of how they had to be a part of it. And they set so many goals for themselves to get more people involved. Some people that I saw in our group that wouldn't say nothing at first, they felt obligated because they felt, it was moving. So mindset, leadership, and I really enjoy the social media, because we always, as far as I say, you got your young folks and you got some of us that are seasoned. We need to stay up on top of how that can help our market and our business. And there were so many tools in that I'm going to make some adjustments with my business. There was that in legal, and what we have, we find ways to protect our business. Having those protections on our trademark and knowing how to protect our business and doing the right things, because it was kind of interesting to hear some of the things that we do in general, like having photos that we didn't get permission for. That's so easy to do, and what it can cause us. So there was little things that you think that you already know about, and to hear more of it. I felt in our room, in our cohort, that we gained so much because the questions just kept flowing. And Dr. Allen have to turn us off sometime because we get so excited about getting more and more information. So I say that there was so much to learn from this cohort, so much. And I read the stuff that I learned to this day, to make sure that I'm up on those things.
You are absolutely right. Every week we went over, and I had to shut down the questions. But, we love to see it. That just lets us know you guys are excited, you're engaged, and you're paying attention. You mentioned a Facebook group. I loved reading the comments that you guys would write every week, and the sharing of your success stories, because people immediately began to apply this information and experience success in their business. So there's just so many components to this. But I want to ask you about your accountability partner, because you guys seem to make a really special connection. And I know he was out of state, but you guys posted pictures where you actually met up. Talk about that.
Yes, Roy Johnson. First of all, Dr. Allen did so well with matching us with people. It didn't take long. It started with a mild conversation. And then once we said, wow, we started comparing what we do and how beneficial it was. And I would think that by the second conversation we had, because we did meet every week, we talked about what we was learning and what our goals were. And it became more known that we had so much in common that we had to make some kind of effort. And fortunately, my daughter lived in Houston, and I had a trip that was coming later. And I said, well, you know what? I'm going to make some changes. And she was available to do so. And when I went out there, that was one of my goals, to meet with him. And when I met with him, it was like, I thought it would be like a 20-minute, 25-minute meeting. We stayed for 2 hours in his office talking. And it was so beneficial to when you meet somebody and they're doing something, and there's ways to increase the flow of your business with another person that is doing something similar, or can meet. You can learn from them, and you can meet the people that they meet, and it'll be an asset to your business. It was just great. So through that whole process, we learned from those 9 weeks that we just had to talk, if it was just a text to each other. And that was interesting, because he looked at me as his big brother, and I thought that was really touching, and just to know and learn that he was interested in some of the things that I did, and I was very interested in some of the things that he did. So it was great. It was a great connection.
Awesome. I love to hear it.
Yeah.
And, you guys were asking me, how do you assign accountability partners?
Yeah.
Because this is ridiculous, but I pay
Yeah.
attention. Like, we don't just throw you guys together. Like, we wait and see who's saying what and read through your applications. And when I saw Roy's, I'm like, oh, these two are going to be perfect for each other. And it worked
Yes.
out. So the last thing I want to ask you about is you were voted Salutatorian, and that means you finished at the top of the cohort, second to Lisa Yvette. And I just want to ask you about your process because you got a perfect score on the final
Yeah.
exam, and few people do that. So what was your process throughout the cohort and preparing for the certification exam?
Well, yeah, there was, first of all, there was good notes that was given. And what I did is I practiced taking the PowerPoint and redoing my notes at every evening. I mean, I would write scribble notes, but I would get the PowerPoint and read it and then make the notes that I really wanted to hold on to. And then at the end of the program, we was fortunate as accountability partners, and we got together and we just talked, and it kind of reminded me of some things that was said if I didn't hear it in the same with my accountability partner. So there were so many opportunities, and we just had our cohort was just so amazing that we went back to Facebook and said, okay, let me look at some of this stuff that some people saying, and you remember this might be a high point. And some of the questions that we went over each week, it kind of kept us in that area. At least it kept me in that area, and to just not to assume that it's going to be this question, but it might be a question in that area. So I kind of used some of my old tactics as far as indexing cards and writing notes, and I felt very prepared. Actually, I stopped studying the night at before because I felt very prepared. And it was just an honor to pick up each time those little tips that would help me, they helped me grow because, it was amazing to hear from those experts that really had different ways of going through this process. So I was actually excited to take the exam, I was actually excited to do it.
So I said that was the last question, but listening to you talk
Good.
reminded me of graduation,
Yeah.
and people were literally in tears. I thought our keynote speaker, Dave Zilko, just did an amazing job talking about his challenges and how he rose above them to become a multi-million dollar entrepreneur. And I know that you've read his book. Can you just
Yes.
comment on our keynote speaker?
Yes, he was fabulous. I mean, he's just a giving person. He went point by point when he talked about his book. It was like amazing. And I even the chapters I've heard him the first time speaking, but this presentation that he gave for the graduates, I know it brought them to an understanding that it was well worth this course to be a part of this course. Because you're going to learn. You're going to learn from the expert. And then he offered his mentorship, which I thought that was really amazing, and just his background and what he had to go through. It gave us an understanding that you might have some downs and you're going to have some ups, but you got to keep moving as far as entrepreneurship, because you are that person that is you're going to be that person that's driving that business. And with his intentional persistence, it helped a lot to know that somebody that can come start a business like that and go through the hoops that he did and come out successful and still be looking at things different. It's an opportunity for everybody to get involved, to stay connected. So yes, I thought he was great. Thought he was great. Yeah.
Yeah, what blew me away is not only did he not have startup money, he was hundreds
Yeah.
and thousands of dollars in debt.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
So that just
Yeah.
gives
Keep
you
going.
hope, no matter how bad it is, keep trying and don't give up.
Right. And
So
that's what we all saw.
Yeah.
And by the way, I have to keep bragging on our cohort. We the third one, but I have to tell the 3 is so important in the universe. But we are the best cohort, and those challenges they will continue because I can speak that we had a lot of people that had some special moments and some special connections that I know that we did well. I know all of our cohort gained tremendously from this particular program because, again, you can't say that you know it all until you sit down with other people and start listening to them and learning their ideals and their understanding about business and then growing through that whole process, even in that short period of time. Yes.
Yeah, I have to agree, Michael. Your cohort was special. I mean, you guys had people having babies during the cohort,
yes,
in the
yes.
hospital.
In the hospital.
I
Yeah,
mean, it was incredible.
Yes.
So yeah, hats off to all of you guys and congratulations. So we're gearing up for cohort 4 in just a few weeks. What would you say to anyone considering signing up for the boot camp?
I would say don't think a second about it. That the administration fee is just a tidbit of what you're going to get as far as the work that the experts put in it, and they want us to grow, and they want you to grow. So I would highly tell anyone that's interested in, especially in entrepreneurship, that this is where you need to be. And the 9 weeks go by, and you won't be bored at all because you'll have a drive. And then the thing that you think about is your business. You have the tools. You'll get the tools. Don't panic. Just take your time, take good notes, and enjoy that ride because you'll learn a lot. You'll learn a lot that's very valuable, and I guarantee you.
That's awesome. And you're right, that 9 weeks goes fast. And the relationships that you make, the people that you meet, just so amazing. You can take those with you for the rest of your life.
Yes.
All right. So thank you for joining me today.
Yes.
All right. So I want to encourage everyone to subscribe to this channel and check back frequently. We have a lot of great interviews coming up, and I'll see you guys next time.